Hi everyone, thank you for registering for this Introduction to Self-Defense course. First off, I would like to thank the Samantha and Fort Saskatchewan Public Library for inviting our club to host this session for you. A couple disclaimers, this is the first virtual remote session I've prepared, so I'm hoping that my slides and the videos that I'll show you translate well. I'll give you contact information after the fact that you guys can feel more than welcome to contact me at. Secondly, this course is developed more so for teenage girls and women. However, men and teen boys can definitely pull great information out of it if we have any of that demographic in our audience today. Little breakdown of how this is going to go. I've just got a slide presentation and a couple videos we're going to run through. You'll hear me talking and we'll go through and I'll discuss some of the key points. Please remember, this is just a very, very introductory course to self-defense. As with anything else, it takes a lot of training and a lot of practice to develop good self-defense technique. So let's dive in. I'm just going to move myself out of the way here. Maybe. There we go. There we go. All right, so this is just, I am one of the senseis at the Tolide Judo Kwai in Fort Saskatchewan here. We do practice out of the Dow Centennial Center in the Flex Hall, so we've got that nice bouncy spring floor. I think there are many different techniques and practices a person can learn for self-defense. My goal is to give the average person a basic knowledge and tools to use as a foundation that can be built upon. So first off, the best self-defense is awareness and prevention. Obviously, if we can avoid getting ourselves or finding ourselves in a situation where we would need to use self-defense, that's the optimal situation. So for self-awareness, are you taking all the possible actions to limit risk? Situational awareness is the second part of that, and that's being aware of what's happening around you in terms of where you are, where you should be, whether anyone or anything around you could be a potential threat, and if so, where's your next move? What are you going to do after? And doing all of these in advance, you'll prepare yourself even more should a situation occur. So let's take a look at self-awareness. Self-awareness, so ask yourself, who are you with and how well do you know them? Who knows where you are and when you're supposed to be back? Okay, I know teenagers, I was a teenager once myself, and I never wanted to tell my parents the whole truth. As a teenager, you never expect that it could happen to you until it does. And I had situations where it did happen to me. And I hadn't been honest, and I hadn't told people where I was, and it turned out poorly for me. So outside of that, what are some distractions that you could have? Are you talking on your cell phone? Are you walking down the street with earbuds in? Are your friends goofing around and causing distractions? All of these things that draw your attention away from yourself and from knowing what potential risks are around you. They put you in a vulnerable position. And what if you need help? Are you near public buildings? If you yell, will people hear you? Is it a crowded area? Is it too crowded? Is your phone charged? Have you, and go through the list. Have you told people where you are and when you'll be home? Taking all of these actions in advance is one of the biggest steps of prevention. Then we have situational awareness. This one, I kind of just go through a scan, if you will. So you survey your surroundings. What is the scene? Is it crowded? Are you secluded? Are you at a big concert, or are you just walking on a back path? Are you alone, or are you with people you trust? Is it during the day, or is it at night? Can you get to an open, well-lit area that's populated quickly? The next we have, can you get help or defend yourself? Is there security around? What can you use to draw attention to or to defend yourself in the event of an assault? Are there alarms you can pull, obstacles you can put between you and an attacker? What do you carry that could aid in your defense? Thinking ahead, always planning, which leads to A, avoid complacency. It's super easy to become comfortable. And your comfort zone is a danger zone. If you're just walking down a path, going for a routine walk that you go on all the time, you can become complacent because nothing has happened. So why would anything happen? In the mall, in the grocery store, you don't know who's around you all the time. Noticing these things, noticing your surroundings will help you prevent a situation from happening. You're out for a run. If you've got your headphones in, you're not necessarily paying attention to everything going on. Leaving school, on lunch break from school, going for, walks in the park with your friends, going to the gym or work, you need to stay alert and stay aware. And then finally, we have N. We have never ignore your intuition. Especially women. Ladies, we have this amazing thing, women's intuition, your gut feeling. Those feelings are there for a reason. And it doesn't matter what the event is. It doesn't matter what's going on. If you have a feeling that something isn't right about it, maybe you should not go. Or maybe you should change the way you were going to go about it. Trust your gut. All right, so now we're going to get into the introduction. We'll go over the vulnerable points of contact, because vulnerable is very different than vital. And we don't want to hit a vital organ. We want to hit those vulnerable ones that will cause a reaction. The female advantage and everyday items that we can use for self-defense. And then we'll just go through the basics. Some striking and grip escapes. Like I said, this is a very, very brief introductory session. So I'm not going to be able to go through a lot of specific scenarios with you. There are many different techniques and practices a person can learn for self-defense. Again, this is a very introductory section. My goal is to give the average person, that being a person without martial arts or combat sports training, some knowledge and tools as a foundation to be built upon. So here are our vulnerable contact points. Vulnerable contact points are not lethal points. That should say vital points, sorry. It is important to remember your goal is to get away. You act hard and fast and escape the first moment you can. Do not continue an assault after you've created a window of opportunity to get away, to flee. So some vulnerable points of contacts are the ears, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the throat. All of these cause a big reaction if somebody gets hurt. If you've been hit in the nose, it's tears and it's distracting. In the midsection and upper body, we have elbows, abdomen, and groin. Those are those vulnerable points there. I don't have solar plexus in here. That is a vulnerable point. It's just rather difficult to hit it effectively enough to get that big reaction that we need. And then on the lower body, we have knees, shins, top of the foot, toes. All of those can be great options for attacks from a distance with kicks, or if somebody bear hugs you from behind and your options are limited with your arms, then we can get into attacking their legs with our feet. The female advantage. Most attacks will happen at close range. Because of this, it is easier for women, who are often smaller in stature, to strike vulnerable areas, causing surprise and confusion, thus creating the opportunity to get away. Women often have a number of possible aids on their person when in public. We all generally carry a house key, or car keys if you drive, or locker keys, or some sort of key. Those keys can be used to scratch the face or hit the ears, causing a lot of pain or marks that you could use to identify somebody with after. Umbrellas, you can use it to keep space or hit. High heels, hard bottom shoes. We have the luxury. People say that shoes can be a disadvantage, but really, if you've got a high heel, stomping on somebody's foot with a high heel or kicking somebody in the groin with a high heel is going to be effective. Our flat shoes often have a harder sole than just a pair of running shoes. Boots, dragging the side of your foot down the front of somebody's shin will cause a big reaction. Pens, hairspray, perfume, metal nail files, artificial nails. Okay, you may not be able to make a fist when you have false nails on, but you can sure use them as daggers to scratch or hit in the eye, right? Our purses and bags often carry many things that could help us defend ourselves. Think outside the box. Now we're going to get into, this video. We need something to practice on, so I'm just going to play this video and you guys can listen. This will show you how to make an at-home practice dummy.
So as in all things, practice makes permanent, and you really want these skills that we've gone through and anything you learn in the future to become instinctive, a natural reaction in situations. So I'm going to run through real quick how you can make yourself an at-home dummy. You can do this, or you can definitely get, like I have in the back there, I have a grappling dummy, and I've just strung up on my both legs. So I'm going to run through. In order to make an at-home practice dummy, you need a hoodie, a broomstick or some sort of stick, a pillow, a belt of some sort, and a piece of rope of some sort. You can take the broomstick and feed it through the sleeves of the dummy, of the hoodie. And lay that flat. Look like that. You're going to stuff the pillow inside the hoodie all the way up to the hook. One pillow might work. You might need 2 pillows depending on the hoodie and how much padding you want in there. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to use one. And then you just adjust the hoodie. Okay. Take the belt, wrap it around the body of your dummy. You put that as tight as you can. This one's not going to go very tight, but that's okay for this. Okay, and there's your dummy. Then you'll take whatever rope. I just grabbed a dog leash because that's what I had. So I'm going to hook on one side of the leash, and then the other, I'm just going to loop over the arm. And then you can hang that on a nail or a doorway. So then you have a practice dummy.
Okay, so whether you want to go and grab those things now or refer back to this in the future to create yourself a dummy, I'll leave this here for just a minute. So if you wanted to write it down, you could write it down. Okay. So on to the next. The basics, grips and striking. So the first type of strike we have is your hand and arm strikes, okay? You can use a proper fist or a heel of the hand. We have nails, elbows, okay? We need to remember that when we are making any of these movements, that it's going to be a full body movement. In the next slide, I'm going to play you another video and it will go through our hand striking.
Okay, so the first thing that we want to do in any situation is obviously try to avoid it. So whether you're being approached at lunch on school, in a parking lot, wherever, if somebody is showing you intent to harm, first thing is hands up. Hands up, back away. Okay? Not fists, because that shows your intent to attack. Palms open, hands up. I don't want to fight. I don't want to harm you. I will protect myself if I have to. If at that point they still pursue you, then you can go to what I call a ready position. Okay? And again, your hands remain open. And it's just a little more stable. You're just going to step just half a step forward, get your body square, hands still up and open. Okay, having your hands up is so important because that gives you a 360-degree block of your upper body. Okay, if they go to kick you, if they go to punch you, if they go to overhead you, grab you, you have a blocking. Another reason we always have palms open is for that blocking. If somebody's coming with an overhead grab attack on me, if I have my hands in a fist, it takes just that fraction of a second longer to open my fist and grab their arm. Whereas if my hands are open, it's an easy grab. So hands open. Now, say it's not going anywhere and we are going to have to defend ourselves. They are not stopping. They're going to attack us. We are in our ready position, 1 foot forward.
Now, then we are going, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, whichever hand you're more comfortable with. Okay? I'm right-handed. I'm going to go with my right. I'm just going to review the strikes that we can use, options of them. So obviously, we can, if you have nails and you can't make a fist for punching, keep your hands open. Okay? Nails are sharp. A quick jab to the eyes with your fingernails will hurt just as much as a punch to the nose. So a quick jab. Okay? And you can practice that with your practice dummy. Just practice going fingers. Okay? Another part of our hand that's very, very useful, heel of our hand. Okay? That's one of the strongest point on our hand. That in a nose. That in a throat. Okay? All of those very effective. You can practice a combination of those. Fingers, heel. Fingers, heel. Okay? All of these things. Our goal is to surprise our attacker that gives us an opportunity to get away. If that first strike doesn't stop, the second, and then run. Okay? from the hand, we've got a fist. Now with a fist, we need to make sure that our thumbs are not tucked in. It's a real easy way to break your fist or break your thumb. So fingers down, thumb over the top two knuckles, or top two fingers, sorry. And again, that punch needs to be hard and fast, okay? We're not standing there in the ready position, gonna go, eh. Our whole body moves with our actions. So I'm right-handed, my right foot's forward, I'm gonna put my whole body into that punch, okay? And then if I need to do two punches, that's when the other foot comes forward, okay? And then I'm closing space too, allowing me more access to those vulnerable parts, which we'll get into. Okay, so to practice our punches, we want to, again, practice both sides. We want to come from the right and the left, really focusing on getting that whole body turn. So if your right foot comes forward, right hand, whole body turn. Left side, left foot, left hand. Practice it in combination. Right, left. Okay? Right, left. Right, left. Okay? You can tie it in with the finger or heel. Finger, palm, punch. Okay? Finger, palm, punch. Okay? And every movement you're doing is a full body movement. The next upper body defense we have is our elbows. Those can be very effective at a medium range, right? You don't have to be super close on top of them, but you are within range. So your elbow is not going to be the first thing you go for if somebody's at a distance. If they're attacking you from a distance, you're going to put that first arm length attack where an extended arm does. So it's going to be your fingers, your palm, your fist. Okay, if we're needing to do multiple attacks and get in that close range, then it's going to be like we are well within their personal space here. Elbow, very effective on the side of the head, very effective in the throat. Okay, you can use all different directions. Okay, it can be a forward elbow, it can be a backward elbow, it can be an up. Okay, so when you're practicing your combinations, again, start at a distance and your attacks are gonna move in. So you're gonna go 1, 2, elbow. Okay, fingers, palm, elbow. Any combination of those three movements, just practice doing a various different ones. Okay, I hope that came across well and was clear as mud for you guys. Like I said in the video, practice and practice in combination. For time's sake, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about this. We're going to dive right in to the next section, which is our lower body strikes. All right, so I'm just going to get my picture out of the way here because I actually just learned how to do that. All right, so basic grip striking. Next one we have here is kicking and kneeing. When we kick, as you can see on the screen there, where the check mark is, we want a foot flat and flexed. Not toes pointed, you're not kicking a soccer ball. Knees to the abdomen or groin are also a part of our lower body strikes. What I don't have on here is obviously stomping the foot. We can do that. Okay, keep in mind your surroundings. Using kicks and knees can potentially put you in an even more vulnerable position. You must consider what the climate is around you, what the scene is around you. Is it wet or uneven? Are you on a slippery floor? What type of shoes do you have on? Will trying to kick put you off balance? Okay, keep those things in mind. So let's dive into the next video, and then we'll get into some grips. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our lower body defenses, which obviously are our knees and our feet. Okay, so knee and somebody, obviously you have to be very close range, okay? Sensitive parts, that vulnerable parts that we're aiming for with our knees is obviously the groin or just above in the abdomen. Solar plexus are very sensitive as well, but they are harder to accurately hit and wind a person. Okay, so that's why in that lower region, in the groin region, is the most effective for a knee, for a kick. Like we talked about before, you need to be very aware of your surroundings, of the weather, of what ground you're on, what shoes you're wearing. If you're going to kick somebody, you need to know that you have secure footing. Lastly, with a kick, we're not playing soccer. We're not ballerinas. Our toes aren't going to be pointed. So when we're kicking, we are aiming for that heel kick. Toes flexed up. And just very quick. Okay? When you're doing the knees as well, it's just as quick. And then you can run. We want to be making our movements in ways that we can run away. So the way I like to practice my knees and my kicks, like I've said, I practice them in combination. You need to practice it all together so that when you are, if heaven forbid, you are ever in a situation that you actually need to use these, it's second nature and they're practiced and effective. So for the knee, I practice a punch, punch, elbow, knee. Okay, and I'll show you that. Okay, because every time I'm attacking, we get that little closer, we're closing that space so that we can get that hand on that elbow. It comes immediately after the punch, so it goes, our arm comes across onto that shoulder for an effective knee. Okay, and in this situation, we could take it that one step further, and we could go punch, punch, elbow, knee. You're going to step back, kick, run. Punch, punch, elbow, knee, back, run. Okay, and so practice all sorts of kicks, right? With an initial, if you don't want to get into their space, sometimes all you'll need to do is that initial kick to the knee, and you can run. You can keep that space, okay? A distance attack is a punch or a kick. Once you get into that personal space, you're now at more risk if your defense fails, okay? You can come up with all different combinations and scenarios and ways, and everybody's combination, everybody's comfort and favorite defenses is going to be their own. And the only way you're going to know what is comfortable and what is most effective for you is to practice. Okay, so in that one you can see I had to do a couple retakes just because my video was being kind of goofy in there. So I hope that, much like with the other one, that one gives you a few more tips and tricks and things that you can work on and practice at home. You can definitely still practice your knees and your kicks with your practice dummy. I do just urge you that be careful when you're by a wall that you don't actually knee or kick the wall because you don't want to have to repair drywall. All right. Next, we're going to dive into some grips, I think. Let's see. All right, so breaking a grip. The thumbs are always the weakest point in a grip. When escaping a grip, always direct your force toward the weakest point where the tip of the thumb meets the tip of the other digits. So in the pictures here, you can see, where those weak points are. There's much more of my hand, strength of my hand coming against that thumb than if I were trying to go against the back of his hand. These are just some close-up images of different types of grips. And in the next slide, we will get into the video of breaking those grips.
Okay, so the last section of the video tutorials that we're going to go through is what if you get grabbed? What if somebody grabs your arms, grabs your wrists?
The first thing to remember is the weakest point of a grab is between the thumb and the fingers. If you could grab my wrist. So this point between the thumb and the fingers is always going to be the weakest point. There's only one finger really holding here, whereas on the back of the hand, you're going against 4 fingers and the strength of the hand. Going to the weak point between the thumb and fingers is a lot more powerful for you, and they don't have the strength to resist that. So we'll switch hands. If you grab just one arm face to face, the weak point's going to be down and away. Again, like with everything else, with the punches, with the kicks, our whole body needs to be part of that movement. You can actually grab. Grabbing? Okay. So our whole body has to be a part of that. Now you notice I actually did struggle here, and that's okay. That's a good thing, because in real life, an attacker is not going to just let your wrist go. He's going to hang on. And so when you're practicing with another person, whether it be a friend, a boyfriend, a spouse, a dad, an uncle, make sure that they're grabbing. Make sure that you have to work to get your wrists out so that you can feel where those weak points are going to be. Okay, you have to work it. Okay, and it has to be that powerful one movement. Okay, your whole body into it. You can practice that with your boyfriends, with your dads, with your husbands, whoever, with a friend, each other. Practice being grabbed. Okay, so if it's a grab where the thumb and fingers are on top, you're going to bring your hand up and to your chest. If it's a grab, an overhand grab, same kind of thing. You can go down and back. Okay. What's next? In the event where it's a two-hand grab, okay, it's often their hands are on the top of yours. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to try and go, okay? So in the event of this, you're gonna go up and around because the weakest part is between those thumbs. You can try going back like that, but up and around. Last scenario that we're gonna go through is if I'm walking away and somebody grabs a wrist. It's a lot more awkward. That's a lot more awkward. I can't really go to the weak point. So in this case, I would turn, creating that discomfort in their arm and moving the weak part to the top of my wrist where I can bring my arm out. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera back on here. I hope that now there was a couple points on there that I know I could have done better with, for sure. You know, when somebody was grabbing that overhand grip, and I say you can go down and back. Well, you can do that, but that overhand grip, again, as the same as with that double grip, you could definitely still use that turnover, okay? Because that weak point is still going to be coming through that thumb. Okay? Try different ways, but just remember the thumb and finger, that's going to be the weak point, and that's where you want to aim your force. And next, I think that is what we have.
Get right into it.
All right, so this video just kind of is going to give you an example of a way to put it all together, to do the combination for practicing at home.
The whole scenario. I said, stop. I don't want to hurt you, but I will defend myself. Okay? And then take it one step further and practice the whole thing to where you run. Get running down into that instinct as well. Okay? Stop. I don't want to fight you. I will defend myself if I have to. Okay? Practice the whole combination, the whole scenario. Get it in your head. Make it an instinctual reaction.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for attending. You know, like I said, it's very brief. That's a very brief introduction. Unfortunately, this has already been quite a bit longer than I think Samantha had originally anticipated that it was going to be. But in order to get the information across to you, it needed to be. We will definitely, there's some contact information here I'll leave up for a minute just after, while we go through here. The Tolide Judo Kwai, that's where I practice out of. We do sometimes host self-defense weekend courses for women and teens. Definitely, if you guys have interest and you would like to host or put a class together with us, then we can definitely do that. If you wanted to email, you can either email myself at tolideselfdefense@gmail.com, or you can email our head sensei of our club, Keith Bibby, and his email is there. Also, if you just wanted information on the judo club, we're always accepting new registrations. We would love to see more women and teens out learning those practices, learning the principles of judo. It really is a community in itself and is life-changing in the confidence and abilities you do learn. I'll just move this if you wanted to. If anybody's copying that down, I'll give you a couple seconds. You can also visit the Tolide website at tolide.com. We've got our Facebook thing on there. You can check out our Facebook page. I would love to be able to do a questions and answers opportunity with you guys, but as this is pre-recorded, that's not an option right now. Definitely feel free to email us at the club, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you again for joining me and for attending this session. I really hope you found some value in it, and keep practicing. Practice and build your confidence and build that defense up.